With the War Within pre-patch event in full swing and the expansion itself launching imminently, it's easy to forget that time is running out on our good friend MoP Remix. And while many people are already done and dusted with the event, I know that others have been procrastinating and are now in a desperate frenzy to get all the goodies before they are gone forever. There's just one tiny poco problem. The MoP Remix rewards are a complete clusterfuck. So the purpose of this video is to act like a last-minute checklist for MoP Remix. I'll go through everything that's going away, mounts, pets, toys, heirlooms, you name it, and try my best to dispel as much misinformation as I can. And as always, this video is going to have a beautiful, crisp infographic accompanying it, which is available on my Patreon for absolutely free. Also, timestamps, yada yada. But I do want to start with toys because this is one of those areas where there's a bunch of fake news being circulated. As you can see in this infographic, there's gonna be 7 toys in total that are going to be gone forever once MoP Remix ends. 4 of them you probably already have, I'd be a bit worried if you didn't. These are the so-called cloak effect toys, which you get by, lo and behold, powering up your cloak. Moving on, the Cherry Blossom Trail, which you absolutely need by the way, because how girl boss is that, comes from the Jade Forest meta achievement. By the way, a lot of these items are actually going to come from these meta achievements, and what I really like about the meta achievements in Mists of Pandaria Remix is that they give you choice as to which sub-achievements you can complete in order to earn the rewards. For example, in this one, I recommend that you do the Looking for Group achievement as well as the Tour the Jade Forest. I believe that at this point in Remix, these are going to be the easiest ones to do to kind of just check off and get your Cherry Blossom toy. And now we kind of arrive at the point of controversy, which is going to be these 2 toys, the Mini Mana Orb and the Theramore Tabard, which for the longest time have just been surrounded by misinformation. These 2 toys are sold by this hot stop here, and importantly, they need to be purchased separately by Horde and Alliance Toon respectively. But, to be able to purchase them, however, you first need to complete the Fall of Theramore scenario on any character. No, you do not need to be level 35 exactly as some people claim. That is a big fat lie. And where does this level 35 exactly mythos comes from? Well, if you do complete that scenario on a level 35 character, you're going to be getting these toys for free rather than having to purchase them, but bruh, you're saving up 1,000 bronze. If that's a problem at this point in Remix, I have some bad news for you, honey. And before starting this section, can we just take a second and have a look? How gorgeous is this? I would marry this mount, I would fuck this mount, have children, get a divorce, spit on their grave, the whole thing. When it comes to mounts, things are fortunately very straightforward. First you have Birdie McBird. What's his name again? The August Phoenix. If you've been playing Remix, you have this mount. Okay, now Miss Ma'am herself, the Astral Empress Cloud Serpent. This mount is another one of those zone meta achievement rewards like the Cherry Blossom Tree, which is rewarded for the Veil of Eternal Blossoms achievement. And let's pause here again to kind of get this out of the way. Whenever one of these meta achievements has these 2 bitches right here as options, my advice is to basically do those in order to get it done and dusted, especially for people who are kind of playing catching up, because campaigns take forever, reputations, some of them take forever, but these achievements are always reliable. And finally, we have our local friendly neighborhood Dilf Hamed Nessingway VIII, who sells 30 mounts exclusive to MoP Remix. So the MoP exclusive mounts are those on the first 3 pages of the vendor menu. These guys here on pages 4 and 5, while technically easier to get in Remix, are still going to be available once it ends. In total, these Remix mounts cost about 103,400 bronze, and if you're struggling with acquiring bronze, by the way, fret not, I am here. At the end of the video, when I do my whole Q&A, I'm going to have a section where I discuss the most effective way for you to farm bronze and fast. Oh, and speaking of fast, so when it comes to this category, we only have 2 exclusive MoP Remix pets. But for some reason, one of them is usually forgotten. It's not even on the Wowhead list and everything, so what's up with that? Both these pets, once again, come from the zone meta achievements. The Town Long Steps achievement is a pretty basic bitch meta achievement, so not a lot to say there. But I do have a couple of quick notes on the Timeless Isle one. So as you can see here, you only need to complete one achievement this time rather than two. Any one of these are kind of obviously doable, but if you decide to be like me and do the Tor one, because that's just kind of what you're used to, then this girl right here, this Elusive Foes Timeless Isle achievement, can be a bit of a pain in the butt, because these enemies that you have to kill for this achievement don't have a temporary protection buff like most rares do. And you might ask why that is. But yes, loot some treasures, kill some rares, kill some more rares, and you're done. Good job. Ah yes, Heirlooms, because those are still totally relevant nowadays, aren't they, Blizzard? So Heirlooms are sold by our boy Pythagora here. There's 11 of them and they cost 8,000 bronze each, as well as 2 of these items, the Bones of Manaroth. And now casuals and kind of introverted players, you might want to avert your eyes for this, because the Bones of Manaroth drop from the Siege of Orgrimmar on all difficulties except for LF. Yes, I know, but it is what it is. There have been plenty of times where people have asked for kind of this to change, but this is one of those things where Blizzard won't budge on, so yikes. The good news is that if you want to do one of these other difficulties, I've been doing them these past few days to kind of, you know, catch up on my procrastination, and they go down like a squirrel made of butter in a volcano. It's just that easy. They fucking melt. Do the on normal, do them on heroic. Mythic might be a bit much. You get 1 from Garrosh, the final boss of the raid. On normal difficulty, on heroic you get 4. On mythic you get a whooping 10. And yeah, if you're doing LFR, well, I still love you. Oh, and before moving on, a special note here, you can actually use these Bones of Manaroth to also purchase the kind of infamous Tusks of Manaroth, but those are not leaving us with Remix, don't worry. So let's keep things structured here, because this part can easily get out of hand if we're not careful. First, just to kind of wrap up on kind of the zone meta achievements, you'll get 3 pieces of Transmog and a weapon illusion by completing the 4 meta achievements that we haven't mentioned so far: the Dread Wastes, the Krasarang Wilds, Kunlite Summit, and the Valley of the 4 Winds. Next, if you go to your friend Durus, you'll notice that he has a bunch of raid apparel for sale. Almost all of these are not Remix exclusive though, and you'll be able to farm them once Remix ends as well, except, oddly enough, this girl right here, the Ensemble Breastplate of Resounding Rings, which as far as I can tell is a Remix exclusive color, so make sure you snatch that before it goes away. Now, you know how I just said that those 4 were the last 4 zone meta achievements? I lied. There's actually 2 more achievements, the Landfall and the Isle of Thunder achievements, which you need to complete if you want everything, because these 2 are going to be prerequisites for purchasing the 13 class arsenals and ensembles from... oh my god, I can't keep track of all these names! From Jacques. Jacques is the one who's going to sell your ensembles or arsenals after you've completed these 2 achievements. Now, there's one final note that I want to make here, because this Landfall achievement in classic Blizzard style had been bugged for the longest time, with many people complaining that it can't be completed due to a reputation bug. Well, I am happy to say that I've been a martyr in this regard, and I just completed this achievement a few days ago. I can say that it's working perfectly now. You can just do the quests, you'll get enough reputation, and you'll be able to buy your ensembles and arsenals. Next, you have this vendor who sells a bunch of Transmog. If you want the Transmog that is going away, make sure you buy the ones tagged Remix Mists of Pandaria. These are the ones that are exclusive to this game mode. And one final thing to mention before wrapping up, there's also like 200 Remix exclusive recolors, and if you want to farm those, you're a much braver soul than me. I have an article from Wowhead linked in the description below for you to try this out, but you know, good fucking luck. Let's fucking fuming hot in here. It's fucking fuming hot. So I'm going to be quick about this section because my concubine prepared an ice bath for me and I am so ready for it. Right, so the first question I got has to do with the items that are going to become easier to get once MoP Remix ends. So there's a bunch of these, and at this point, honestly, I would recommend focusing on the exclusive stuff. Now, the things that I would advise buying if you're going to go for the things that are going to become more difficult in the retail version of the game, there's this toy that normally drops from the snails in Throne of Thunder, but it has an abysmal drop rate. I would definitely recommend that. It's a bit pricey, but for good reason. You'll be pulling out your feathers if you want to collect this once Remix ends. The things I would not recommend spending your bronze on, however, are kind of the Mists of Pandaria world boss mounts, so kind of the Shah, and the other 4 that are not the Shah. These have been made a lot easier to farm with a hotfix that went on recently, so absolutely no reason to spend this amount of bronze on. Moving on, I promised that there would be some bronze hacks, and you know, I was kind of tittering the tail a little bit because probably you've heard this before. By far the fastest way to get bronze in Remix at this point in the game is to level new characters. There's plenty of guides online on how to do this. Once a character reaches level 70, which can be done in basically an hour nowadays, you will get 40,000 bronze. No other source comes even close to this. If you want to swim in it, if you want to smell it, if you want to marry it, if you want to have kids. What the fuck am I saying? Anyway, level characters. That's that. Thank you so much for watching and hope you enjoyed and found this useful. I know it's kind of towards the tail end of the game mode, but still sometimes you need a checklist like this. As always, the infographic itself is linked in the description. It's available on my Patreon for absolute free. Of course, any contribution would help this channel out tremendously, but the infographic itself is free. Time for me to dock out.
I'm out of here.